So today, Year 6, as promised, I'm going through the answers to yesterday's work. I'll put all the answers up. If you got any of them wrong or there were any that you couldn't do, I suggest that you tab through the video and find the ones that you need to look through the modelled answers. You don't need to sit through the whole video, just for the ones that you didn't get the answers or you want a bit more help with how we arrived at the answers. Okay, the answers are as follows. Please make sure you mark your work. As I say, if you got any wrong or you weren't sure how to tackle them, run through the video to find the model answer you need. Question 1. Okay, so our first question was Martha has £680 in her savings account. Tom has 10% more than Martha. How much money does Tom have? So, if we've got our 680, we need to know 10% to find out what Tom has. So that's the 100% is 680. And we need to find 10% of that. So we're going to have to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections. So we're going to find 10, that's 100%. So one of these will be 10%. So a tenth of this means dividing 680 by 10. So each one of these will be 68. So it says Tom has 10% more money than Martha. So we've got 680, which is Martha's money. And then we've got the bit more that Tom has. So he's got an extra £68. So we need to add those together. So 6 plus 8 is 14. 6 plus the 1 is 7. So Tom has got £748. Question 2. So the second question is about a reduction in price of a television. The television was originally £380, so that's our 100%. 380 is our 100%. But we need to find 10% of that. So want to visualise it, we can think about that whole being cut into 10 sections. And then if we think about 10 sections, that's dividing the whole into 10. We're dividing 380 by 10. So we can think of it being the hundreds, tens and units. And if we're dividing, it's moving in this direction, 1 decimal place for by 10. So the 3 will then be in the tens and the 8's in the units. So it will be 38 for a tenth. So 10% equals 38. But is that the end of what I've got to do? If you look very carefully, it says that televisions are reduced by 10% in the sale. So we've got to actually take that away from the original price. So the original price was 380 and we've got a reduction of 38. This is when percentages are really important because in life we will often see adverts saying there's a reduction in price in the sale and you want to know how much you're going to pay. So 8 from 0 can't do, so I will exchange 1 of the 10s for 10 units. 8 from 10 is 2. 3 from 7 is 4. 342, and it's pounds we're working in. So to buy this television today, I would only have to pay £342. Question 3. So question 3 is another one with buying things, but this time it's a pair of trousers and a hoodie, which Billy has bought. He's buying them both, but he's lucky enough to get 25% off. So let's work out how much he'd spend if he was going to buy them at full price. So he would have spent 35 plus 40, and that equals £75. But he's lucky enough that it's a 25% reduction. Now, if we think about 25%, we know that 25% means out of 100, so it's 25 out of 100, which also means the same as 1/4, because I know that if I divide 100 by 25 and do the same to the top that I did to the bottom, I get 1/4. So this time I don't need to find a tenth to help find this out. I can deal with my quarter. So I will have my bar here. This is my full bar of 75, and this one is split into 4 pieces. So what is one section? That's my 25% going to be. So I can go 75 on a bus stop. 75 divided by 4. 4s into 7 go 1, carry 3 left over. 4s into 35. What's the closest I can get in the 4 times table? 4 times 8 is 32. But I've still got more. I haven't used all of this up, so I need to put some on a placeholder next to it. So 4s into 35 go 8. 8 4s are 32. That means I've got 3 to carry forward. 4s into 30. The closest is 7, which is 28. That's another 2 to carry forward. 4s into 20 go 5. So 1875 is 25%. Okay, so if 1875 is 25%, is that the end of my calculation? Well, it's not, because it says how much does he spend. So he would have spent £75, but he had 1875 reduction. So we need to take the 1875 away from the original cost of £75. So I'm going to make it the same length. 5 from 0, I can't, so I'm going to have to go all the way over here. I'm going to reduce that and exchange that £1 for 10 tens. And then I'm going to exchange down again. So 5 from 10 is 5. 7 from 9 is 2. 8 from 4, can't. Reduce that to 6. I've exchanged one of this for a block of 10 here. 8 from 14 is 6. 1 from 6 is 5. So very luckily, he only had to pay £56.25 to get both the hoodie and the pair of trousers, because they were reduced by 1/4, by 25%. Question 4. Okay, question 4 says, which of these is the odd one out? So let's quickly work out the answers, and then we'll see if we can explain our answer. So 40% of 900. Well, hopefully you can see that the first thing we need to do to find 40% is probably, the quickest way would be to find 10% and times by 4. So 10% means this being divided by 10, and 900 divided by 10 is 90. And then we times that by 4, and we'll get 4 times 9 is 36. But it's not 9, it's 90, it's 10 times bigger. So I've got 360. Now, hopefully you noticed when we did the ones in class the other day that there is the commutative law of the maths related to multiplication. So we'll probably find that our 90% of 400 will be the same figure. But let's check it out to find out. Now, with 400, the quickest way to find 10%, again, is to divide by 10. So it's 40. But this time it says 90% of 400. Well, if I know 100% and I know 10%, I can actually take one away from the other. It's a bit quicker than trying to do 9 times. So 4 from 0, can't do that, becomes 3. 4 from 10 is 6, and then the 3. So we actually still get to the same figure, don't we? So we know that 40% of 900 and 90% of 400 are the same. Let's try 60% of 850. So 850. Now, can you see what 50% is going to be? What would we need to do to find 50%? You're right, 50% would be half that number, wouldn't it? So 850 divided by 2 would give us 50%, because 50 out of 100 is the same as half. So 2's into 8 go 4, 2's into 5 go 2, carry the 1, 2's into 10 go 5, that's 4, 2, 5. But that only gives us 50%, and we need 60%. So we also need to find 10%. So 10% of 850, so 850 divided by 10 to give us our 10% would be 85. So we can add that on. So 425 plus 85. So I can see that's going to be a lot bigger than the 360 we've got over here, isn't it? So maybe that is the odd one out. Let's have a go at 25% of 1440. Now again, we're talking 25%, which we've already worked out is the same as 25 over 100, which is the same as 1/4. So we're going to divide 1440, not into 10 pieces to find a tenth, but into 4 pieces. So 1440 divided by 4. 4's into 1, don't go. 4's into 14. The closest we can get is 12, which is 3 lots of 4. And we've got 2. 4's into 24. 4 times 6 is 24. And 4's into 0 goes 0. So that's the same answer, isn't it? So the odd one out is 60% of 850, because that is the only one that doesn't make the same figure of 360. It makes 510. If you need question 5. Question 5. A coat costs £56 but reduced by 15% in the sale. How much does it cost now? Okay, using the knowledge we've got before, we've got our 56, which is our 100%. My bar might help me here. And then I need to find my 10%. So I'm trying to find just one piece, my 10%. So when I find my one piece, my 10%, I'm dividing by, yes, I'm dividing by 10. So that's going to be my 10%. And 56 divided by 10. Oh, I might have to put my tens and units over here and think about it. I might have to put my decimal point in. Go into my tenths, and my hundredths. Okay, so if it's going to move one decimal place, it means I've got a 5 in the units and then a 6 in the tenths. But because I'm dealing with money, I actually can put that extra one, so we have our two places by the decimal point there. So £5.60 would be 10%. But actually, it's not reduced by 10%, it's reduced by 15. So how can I find 5%? Can you see here how I might find 5%? If I know 10%, I can, yes, you're right, divide it by 2 to find 5%. So if I do 5.60, £5.60 divided by 2, 2's into 5 go 2, remainder 1, which I carry forward to the next number, 2's into 16 go 8, and then 2's into 0 will always go 0. So I've got £2.80 to add on. So that's 10%, that's 5%. So 15% will be 8 plus 6 is 14, carry 1 over, 5, 6, 7, and the 1 is 8. £8.40 is my 15% off. But how much did I actually pay for my coat? So I then have to take my 56 and take my £8.40 away. This is real life maths. This is about working out how much you're going to pay for items you might want.
Can Annabelle come down to the office to go home, please?
And that's when you know I'm doing it in school, because you can hear the tannoy. So 8 from 15 is 7, and then the 4. So £47.60 is all I paid for my coat. Look at question 6. Okay, question 6 has a couple of ways it can be solved. So if this first way I'm showing you isn't the way you did it, please do carry on looking at the video where there'll be a second way that you can work it out. So Tommy saves £160 in his account, but then he spends 20% on clothes and 35% on trainers. So the first point to work out is how much has he spent? So if we think he spent 20% of his whole and 35% of his whole, in total he has spent 55%. But the question says, how much does he have left? Well, if we take 55 away from the 100%, so take it away, we'll get what he's got left. So we have to move forward. So we've got 45%. He's got 45% left. So we then need to find out 45% of 860. We can do our bar. And our whole, remember, our 100% is 860. And then we can do our second bar, which breaks this down into blocks for 10. So we've got 10 sections. So remember, that will give me 10% for one of these. So 10% of 860 is 860 divided by 10, which gives me 86. But actually, when we're working 45, we also need to work out 5%. And if we think of 5%, 5% will be half of 10%, because 5 is half of 10. So we can just halve this. So half of 86 is 43. So that's 5%. This is 10%. And using this, we can work out the 45% he has left. So 45% will be this times 4, add on this. So 86 times 4 4 6s are 24. 4 8s are 32, 33, 34. That's 3 4 4. And then we need to add on the 43. So 3 4 4 add 43 should give us 3 plus 4 is 7, 4 plus 4 is 8, and then nothing plus the 3 gives us £387. If this wasn't the way you worked it out, please do watch the next little bit of the video where there is another way you could work it out. Question 6. Tommy saves £860 in his account and spends 20% on clothes and 35% on trainers. How much money does he have left? Okay, so first we need to find out 20% of 860. So 860. And we need to find out 20%. Now, when we talked about this before, we remembered that 20% is the same as 1/5. Not very even, my bar, but it doesn't need to be even. We need to know it's got 5 sections. So we're going to divide 860 by 5 to find out what one of these fifths are. Let's write this a bit further over so you can see. So we've got 860 divided by 5. 5s into 8 go 1. Carry the 3. 5s into 36. 5 times 7 is 35. So that's as close as I can get. And then I've got 1 left over. 5s into 10 go 2. So that's 172 is one of these sections. 172 is 20%. So 172 is the same as 20%. How many 5s make 20? So 4 5s make 20. So we could divide our 20%, which is 172, by 4 to find out 5%. So 172 divided by 4. 4 doesn't go into 1, but it does go into 17. So it goes 4 times, carry the 1, because that's 16, carry the 1 over. 4s into 12 go 3, so that's 43. £43 is the same as 5%. Now, what was the number we were looking for? We were looking for 35% he spent on trainers. So if we spent 35, so at the moment we've got £172, is 20%. And we know that 5% is 43. And I need to know 35%. And I can do this in one of 2 ways. I can either say, 43 times 7, because 5 to 35 is times 7. 7 3s are 21. 7 4s are 28, 29, 30. That's 301. Or I could go the other way. Let's see if it gets to the same answer. I could think, well, 35 is 5% less than 40. And I already know 20%. So if I double that for 40% and take the 5% off, let's see if it gets to the same answer. If it does, we've done it right. So 172 times 2 is 4. 2 7s are 14. 1 2 is 2 and 1 is 3. That's 3 4 4. And then I need to take away my 43. Does it get me to the same figure? 3 from 4 is 1. 4 from 4 is 0, and I 3. So it doesn't matter which way you did it, you still come up with the same figure of 301 for 35%. So if he spent 20% and 35%. We can cross this one out. We've dealt with it now. We can work out in total how much he spent because he add these two together. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 0 plus 7 is 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. £473. Oh, but is that the whole answer? It isn't, because he actually said how much money does he have left. So we've got to take that 473 away from 860. Well, he has spent quite a lot of his money, hasn't he? So 3 from 0 doesn't go, but we can exchange that for 10 tens. So for 1 10, for 10 units, 3 from 10 is 7. 7 from 5 we can't, so we have to exchange a block of 10. 7 from 15 is 8. 4 from 7 is 3. So he has got £387 left. Here's question 7. Okay, question 7 was a sort of an explaining one. If you know 40% of an amount, explain how you'd find the original amount. Well, there could be many ways you could do this. But if I knew, perhaps, that I knew 40% of an amount, I could divide whatever that amount is by 4, yes, and that would give me a 10%. And whatever that answer is, I could times by 10 to find the 100%. Now let's try that out with real figures, just so you get a sense of what we're doing. So imagine 40% of something was £60. So if I knew that 40% was £60, I would divide that 60 by 4. 4s into 6 go 1, carry 2, 4s into 20 go 5. So 15, that would be 10% equals 15. So I then would multiply that by 10, which I know is 150, to find my original figure. And that would be the 100%. Might be worth pausing the video and having a go with some different figures and seeing if you can work that out. Question 8. Well, question 8 is quite a tricky question because we have how much they are now and we need to work our way backwards to how much they used to be. So we have to work upon the information we've got. So we know that they are now £58.50. But that £58.50 represents what percentage? So £58.50 is the 100% less this 35% in the sale. So what percentage are they now? 5 from 0. Oh. So we'll have to go there. Reduce that down, bar across. 5 from 10 is 5. 3 from 9 is 6. So that's 65%. So this 58.50 is 65%. So we need to work our way back to the original price. So let's show our bar. Let's start off in tenths. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, there's our 10 sections. So that's tenths. And we need 65. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 60. So halfway down is that 65%. So that is 65%, which is what we know the 58.50 is. So we can actually say that is 58.50 all the way from that all the way down there. So we need to know what the whole bar is worth. Now, looking at this, I see I've got a half piece here. So it might be easier, to, instead of doing tenths this time, to do into fifths. So So if I can think about parting all of this, how many 5% make up this? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 5% make up 65%. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm quite good with my times tables, but I don't know my 13 times table off the top of my head. But because it's quite close to my 12 times table, I can actually work it out. And I might do a little ready reckoner down the page to help me when I'm doing my division. So 13, 26, 39, 51, no, 52, it'll be, won't it? 52, 65. I don't think I'm going to have to go much higher, but I might do one more just in case. 65, 78. I think I'll leave it there. So that's 13 times 1, 13 times 2. Yeah, all right, all the way down. Okay. And now I'm going to divide 5850. Divide by 13 to find out what each piece is actually worth. 13s into 58. What's the closest I can get? Oh, I can see here 52 is 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 4 times is 52. Oh, look, I'm doing a bit of my long division here. 58, take away 52 will leave me with 6. And then I can drop down the next number. Oh, which helpfully is 65. And I can see that 65 actually features here on my ready reckoner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So 5 times. And then 13s into 0 will always go 0, won't it? So I now know that 5% is worth £4.50. So if I know 5%, what do I need to do to get to 100%? How many 5s make 100? Remember, we had a discussion earlier about our 5s into 100. So 5 times what? So we could do it to make 50%. 5 times 10 makes 50%, and then double it. So times 10, that would be 45, and then double it would give me 90. Or we can try the other way, which is 5%. So 5 times what makes 100? 5 times 20 makes 100. So I could multiply this £4.50 by 20. Do I get to the same amount? It's entirely up to you which way you work it out. So, and if I've got the right amount here, if I were to reduce it by 35%, I would actually get back to my original figure. So you can always check your answer by doing that. That was the trickiest question I think you will ever come across. So if we want to go back the other way and just check our answer, what we can say is that we think they were originally £90, but if they were reduced by 35% in the sale, well, 10% of this will be 90 divided by 10, which is 9. So that'll be 10%. And of course, 5% is half of that, so that'd be £4.50. We'd already worked out our 5% down here, hadn't we? So that does tie up with what we think it should be. So 35% will be 3 lots of a 10%. So 3 9s are 27. And add the £4.50 on for the 5%. So 35% we reckon will be £31.50. And to check if we're correct, we should get back to the original sum. So if we take our £90 trainers and take off £31.50, sorry how messy my paper's getting, but I'm trying to get it all within the realm of the camera. So 0 from 0 is 0. 0 from 5 we can't do, so we're going to have to go over here. Remember, we always only can go one column at a time. 1 from 9 is 8. 3 from 8 is 5. And we get back, after taking off, I think, to our original £58.50. So we know we are correct, that the trainers were originally £90. Question 9. So this question is very much like the Nike Air one, as in these shoes are 35% off in the sale and are now £32. But we need to, it says how much were they originally. On this one, we're not actually being asked to calculate it, although you could, although it would be quite long-winded, a bit like the Nike Air one. But we do know that Sarah is wrong, because it says the best way is to find 1% by dividing 32 by 35 and then multiplying by 100. We can't agree, because actually 35% isn't what the £32 means. 32 is what they are now. They're now after minus 35%. They've already reduced the 35% off, and now they're 32. So actually, like last time, we need to say 32 is £32 represents 35% of the figure. So, sorry, a reduction of 35% of the figure. So actually, like the last pair of shoes we were talking about, £32 is 65% of the original price. So actually, if Sarah wanted to work it out her way, she would need to divide 32 by 65 and then times by 100. But all we need to say is we know she's wrong, because it isn't 35% that 32 represents. 32 represents 65% of the original cost. These last two questions are the most tricky we have seen. If you manage to do the first 5 questions on the paper, I think you've done really well. And if you managed to get all the way to number 8 before you got stuck, you've done very well indeed, because number 8 and 9 were the really trickiest you would ever come across. If you can't do those, I wouldn't worry too much. The end.